Do we have a mental health crisis in United States? According to the World Health Organization, 1 in 8 people living with mental disorder. At the same time, National Alliance on Mental Illness and Center for Disease Control identified that 1 in 5 individuals experiencing mental illness in United States, it's adult. Astonishing number, 1 in 5. It means 1 in 5 individuals having some challenges to manage their emotional, sociological, and psychological well-being. Hi, I'm Dr. Sugi. I'm here to propose some solutions through evidence-based research, publicly available data, and through my doctoral research. Is there anything we can learn through immigrants' resilience, coping mechanisms, as well as managing their mental well-being? I use the word multiple times, immigrants. Before I explain that, you want to know when I'm researching this, I came across some kind of a very interesting information. Listen to me carefully. Evidence-based research says that first-generation immigrants have a lower risk for mental illness compared to their US counterparts. And you may be wondering why. I wondered why. Maybe there are some reasons behind it. My observation is these immigrants coming from the countries going through so many challenges in their lives. Maybe they develop more resilience within themselves. Or maybe they develop some culture-oriented coping mechanisms within themselves. Or maybe they have more willpower within themselves. And the other thing I identified in this research process, when these first-generation immigrants living longer in United States, their ability to face these mental health challenges reducing. Now you may be wondering why. I wondered why. They're going through some kind of a challenges to adjusting to United States. It's called acculturative stress. Maybe lack of resources, maybe lack of knowledge, or maybe some kind of a challenges to they are having the coping mechanisms. They are culture-oriented coping mechanisms. Maybe some challenges to their identities, or maybe our American lifestyle, or maybe something else. I talk about immigrants. Who's immigrants? Immigrants are the people who are living permanently in some other country than their birth country. I use the word first-generation immigrants. Who are first-generation immigrants? If you are born in a foreign country, you are first-generation immigrants. At least one parent belongs to a foreign born, they belong to second generation. If you are born in United States soil, you belong to third or higher category. And now, I think when we're talking about immigrants, we cannot forget about Emma Lazarus, her eternal words on Statue of Liberty. Give me your poor. Here you can see it. Give me your poor. Your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Is she referring to these immigrants today? If you belong to first-generation immigrants, please raise your hand. I am one of you. I'm coming from a beautiful country called Sri Lanka. And I'm a licensed psychotherapist in New York and New Jersey. When the COVID hit us unexpectedly, I was dying to know something, we can find something about to overcome these mental health challenges in epidemic in United States. I did not stop from there. I did my doctoral study. It's about acculturative stress, immigrant employee, and leadership. I interviewed multiple leaders. They coming from Cuba, Dominican Republic, India, South and West Africa. Something I identify within themselves, something very unique. They all went through some kind of a challenging situation, but they did not let that to define themselves. All immigrants coming to United States holding so many dreams in their hearts and minds. They want to have a better life for themselves, their families, their kids. Not only that, they want to taste the success. Do not forget about it. And then, when I explore all this information, and the other thing, we did not have plan B. I did not have. I know there's a saying, swim or sink. I cannot sink. I have only swim harder for my family. I want to make myself proud as well as my families, my countries. Then I had my hypothesis. My hypothesis was immigrant resilience, coping mechanisms, and their ability to overcome these mental health challenges. I put it into perspective and see if there's any publicly available data. You can see here, New American Companies, 2019, Fortune 500 companies, 45% founded by immigrants or their families. And then what I did was, I want to go there and identify, is there any case studies out there? This is few. Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, Indira Nooyi, Safra Catz, Elon Musk. There are multiple people. There's something very unique to everybody. What is unique to them? They all left behind something very precious to them, but they did not give up. And the other thing is, when they go through multiple challenging situations, they did not let it to define them. Third thing, they embrace never give attitude, and they have a growth mindset. They moved with the growth mindset further. Now we talk about multiple things here. And before we go to the next step, I want to explain a little bit about acculturation, acculturative stress. What is acculturation? Acculturation is when we are moving one country to another, we go through adjustment process. Through that process, what we're going to go through, emotional, physical, psychological challenges. That is acculturative stress. This acculturation, when we face this acculturative stress, we all unique, right? Look at this audience, we all unique. We develop some coping mechanisms. But what can happen, these developed mechanisms, some can use it positively, some cannot. When we are not able to use our coping mechanism, protective factors, what can happen? It can go to the extreme ends. Maybe it is anxiety, depression, somatization, anything you name it. Then what happened was, during this process, when I evaluate all this data about protective factor, I identified something very, very unique. That was, I saw it today, they are using their social organization is their extended families. They talk to people. That helps them to overcome challenges. And the other thing, they have some culture-oriented activities based on their choices. They use that choices. And the other thing, these extended families help them to overcome when they are in challenging situations. And now, before we go to the next step, this picture. This is worth than 1,000 words. This is my mom, who's 80 plus years old, barefooted, teaching her grandson how to do gardening. She never speaks English. She passed the citizenship exam, first computer certificate, first English certificate, learned how to do knitting, and taught her grandson how to do knitting in English. What we call that? Resilience. It is a Latin verb. It says to leap back. And Oxford English Dictionary says one's ability to overcome challenges in a difficult situation, overcome challenges quickly. What is psychological aspect it says? It says when people are in a negative experience when they go through, bounce back ability, how you overcome that challenge. Isn't that resilience? Yes, that is resilient. That helps us. As I said previously, when we are going through all these challenges, it helps us different ways to overcome all these challenges. Now, there's another thing. I experienced this process. Before I go there, I talk a lot. Therefore, let me summarize what we talk. What is it says here? 1 in 5 adults in US experiencing mental illness, mental health challenges in each year. Research says that first generation immigrants have a pattern they identified, have a lower risk of facing mental health challenges. There are some differences between ethnic groups. I'm not going to go there yet. And then, if they live longer, their ability to face these challenges reducing. Can we learn something from each other? Is there any way we can learn something from each other? Very first thing, these are proposed solutions. Very first thing, how about we bring that collective cultural concept? I know we cannot meet everybody every single day, every year. How about you use some Zoom technology? Once a month, talk to all your grandparents, parents, kids all together. You know why? The newly identified data says 1 in 4 individuals stated that they don't have anybody to talk when they need it. We are human beings. We need human touch. We need love. We need care. When we are in a situation, experiencing negative experience, who we need? We need to talk to somebody. Can we try something? Having this collective culture within us to face this epidemic? That is one solution. Before I go to second and third solution, there's a identified gap here for qualitative, quantitative, and publicly available data. Very less information I found it through this process. Therefore, we all go to annual physical, right? We all go, right? Last year we did not go, I know. But when we go there, can they add one question asking about how we manage our mental health? Can we mask everybody's identities? Identified some themes and patterns? I know we all are different, but can we learn something from each other? My solution 3, we all got green cards if we are not born here, right? How many paperwork we filled? Hundreds, right? I don't remember they are asking any question about our mental health. Can they add one question to know how we managing our mental health before we come to US? Mask our identities and know some information about it. Compare first generation, second generation, third generation. We are going to have publicly available data. And the fourth one is never forget about the social media. We all have phones on your hand. How often we talk about immigrants and their mental health? Very few, right? Is it a taboo? Is it a stigma? How about we talk about immigrants and their mental health? We have youth here, right? Let's start a hashtag. Find your resilient immigrants inside you. Create awareness among others. Talk about it. That way, we can learn something from each other. Before I go to the last thing, what we can do today. That's the whole thing about it, what we can do today, right? When we go to do today, did you ever hear about the resilience board? I know you all heard about the vision board and action board. Let's do a resilient board, resilient factor. What is inside you? What is motivating you, encouraging you? What takes you to the next step? Identify that. Around it, you can have that, all your vision, all your mission. When you fell down, look at your resilient board. I came from a country, Sri Lanka. You believe I did not have electricity when I grew up. I am not a broken woman. I am a very proud, successful first-generation immigrant. Therefore, it is all in your heart, all in your hands. We are a nation of immigrants. Identified, resilient immigrant inside you. We can find something to overcome these mental health challenges today. Thank you.